Okay, let's talk about something sexy. All right. They're watching us. This is a creative instruction on sentiment analysis, how they're watching us, the hedge funds. Okay. So on every social media platform that's out there, the hedge funds have software applications that scan every ape they find. They're constantly moving from page to page, Twitter account to Twitter account. They're recording it and they're creating a picture, if you will, using the words on the actual, what comes out of our mouth, basically. And how do they do that? They use statistical methods. How many times is the word pissed off, angry, happy, motivation words that we use used in sentences, in words? They look for specific words. And it's all done through these digital learning machines, these artificial intelligence applications. And they're subsequently collected, they're analyzed, eyes on by analysts, behavioral psychologists, who then will tell Mr. Griffin and the other assholes, hey, this is what they're feeling, this is what they're doing, this is what we got to do. And one good example is lately what's been happening, right? Take a look at this. We started getting antsy because we didn't see the MOAS, and we started complaining. We started bitching at Adam Aarons and everything else. We started turning on each other, causing infighting. And then their trolls, their fake profiles, they came into the community, their shills, and they started doing stuff. They started making things happen. And that's what we saw. Why? How did they determine what the right button was to push? Very simple. Sentiment analysis. They're watching us. Here's an example. Look at this right here. Loves German bakeries in Sydney. Together they imported honey. It feels like home. That's a positive sentiment. Mine is broken too. I miss my sidekick. That's a negative. Fixing my Twitter. I had to unfollow and follow everyone again. Negative. And it keeps going and going and going. And that's how they determine things, based off of keyword searches, using, I would say, like something kind of, OCR. I don't know the exact, the technicality, but this is how it gets done. Okay. They analyze the emojis, the tone of our sentences, if we're using idioms, similes, comparatives, multilingual data. In other words, some of you guys are speaking in Spanish, German, Dutch, whatever it may be, and they're understanding that data and they're making assumptions. There's the polarity aspect. How's one group of apes feel? How does another group of apes feel? So on and so forth. And they look at their memes, they look at the audio visual data, they're looking at our videos, and they're making assumptions based on that. And they have the current mood. 35% of the ape community is angry, 12% is tired, 40% are frustrated. I don't know, whatever. This is how they watch us, and they do calculated strikes against the ape community. It's what you post on your social media. They watch it, they make a, because this community is such tight knit that the emotion, the feelings, they're very much like, I hate to use this, ladies, forgive me, we're syncing up with each other's periods, if you will. I hate to use that, but it's kind of what's happening. One guy sets it off, another guy copies it, does the same thing, he agrees, and all of a sudden it's like this collective behavior pattern shows up, right? And that is something that you have to watch out for, because what one person says resonates with you, and then you make a comment, and all of a sudden this feeling goes around, and a general feeling of discontentment, and boom, they start to hammer us with bad price movements, whatever. Like, think about what they did this week, right? $35, $36 it went down to, right, on Thanksgiving. Why? They wanted to ruin your Thanksgiving. They wanted you to keep an eye on the phone and make sure that your Thanksgiving was ruined, so you'd have a little bit more anger, a little bit more frustratedness, not spending with your family instead of being on Twitter and then, this, that, and the other. These are all deliberate acts. Everything is calculated. Everything is planned out meticulously and executed for effect. Okay? Everything is calculated. Every move that they make has gone through the wish-wash. Their analysts and their psychologists and their CEO. Everything is done meticulously to get a reaction out of you. Okay? So keep that in mind. This is what sentiment does. So when you're posting good things, they see that we are impervious to whatever, and they'll throw shit out to see what sticks. Have you heard that expression before? Slap it against the wall, see what sticks. That sort of thing. If you have positive sentiment, great, wonderful. That's all you're going to need. Now, since they see some weakness, they're capitalizing on it. Okay, that means we're going to turn on our silverback Adam Aarons. We're going to start being toxic to each other. People that have different ideas than us, people that don't like each other because of personal hubris or whatever. It doesn't matter. Everyone has to just take a chill pill, man. Just relax, let shit go, learn to let shit go. Because if you hold it in and you don't vent or you don't find an outlet for it and you post negative shit, I'm telling you right now, this movement is going to break. This is how it works. I know this because they did this sort of shit in Iraq. I can't tell you about it, but I'm telling you right now, the enemy is very, very smart. They know what they're doing, and they're watching us, and they're watching the news, and they're watching, all these things in play, and they're creating, quote, dossiers. Like, think about all the influencers there. They have dossiers on every one of them, on Trey, on Tara, on whoever. They have books probably written about us. They probably have all of our information, and they're analyzing us every day just so they can understand how big the influence is, what the move is, what the calculation is. That's how meticulous this thing gets. They have, I almost guarantee it that there's dossiers on popular social media folks for this movement. I'm convinced of it. There's no question about it. So rather than being at each other's throats, let's start being kinder to each other, being nicer, forgiving one another. Remember that? Some of us went to Bible school or Sunday school. Forgive people. They're flawed just like you. They have their problems. We have ours. Sometimes they give bad advice. Sometimes they give great advice. And it doesn't require you to just like lose your shit and just go crazy and be mean to each other. So that's all I have about that. I hope you learned something from the sentiment analysis, though, and how it works. And if you found value in it, please do share it. And I would be in your debt. Hey, thank you so much. Al from Boston signing out. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.